So after going through the Genesis saga, we now continue the Star Trek franchise with a movie called Star Trek V: The Final Frontier. What can be said about this film? Well, it was written and directed by William Shatner. Yeah. There were some complications with this film, such as the script going through several rewrites, but they did manage to get a lot of people who worked on the Star Trek franchise before in this film. So how was this film received? Not too well. In fact, most people hated it. This movie was considered to be the one that killed the Star Trek franchise. So, is this movie really that bad? Yeah, there's no other way to describe it. Okay, so what is this film about? Well, the Enterprise crew seem to be waiting for the new Enterprise to be finished with construction. However, they have to leave earlier than expected as some kind of terrorist has taken 3 ambassadors hostage. When the crew arrives on the planet, they discover that not only the ambassadors are in league with the villain, but the villain turns out to be a Vulcan known as Sybok, who just so happens to be Spock's half-brother. Sybok takes over the Enterprise and sets off for the center of the galaxy to find the Vulcan Holy Land known as Shakari. Okay, so why is this movie considered one of the worst? Well, let's see. The movie adds nothing to the franchise, the story is weak, the villain is weak, the fact that he's related to Spock is useless, how he managed to take over all the Enterprise is never explained, the pacing's bad, there's a 3-boobed cat lady, there's a scene where Uhura's dancing with nothing but fans. Need I go on? I think the main issue is that the movie does play with an interesting theme about something beyond people's comprehension and whether or not something like heaven exists, but the movie never goes into it. It just insinuates on the idea. This movie is too busy being a train wreck to be anything else. And on top of that, I just don't like how the main cast is portrayed in this film. If you're not Kirk, Spock, or McCoy, then you're clearly not important enough as the other main characters were taken over by Sybok with a drop of a hat. Besides, the only big thing the 3 main characters contribute to this movie is singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Yeah. Alright, and there's this crew of Klingons who have no importance till the end. This movie just left me with a headache. There is no real substance to it, and the payoff isn't worth it. I don't know what's worse, the fact that the film does have good ideas but fails to execute them correctly, or is it just that this movie fails in execution? So I agree with the majority on this one. If you can skip this one, skip it. You're not missing anything. Star Trek: The Final Frontier receives a monumental 2 out of 5 hats. So yeah, after this one, it would be hard to get excited for any more Star Trek films. But much to my surprise, the Enterprise crew will return to the silver screen once again. Except this time they'll be moving towards the undiscovered country.